All right, we are live. This is Skai Juice coming to you live and direct with Tony B in the house. We are here with
I'm
the Art
here.
of Living, and we are not doing this as frequently as we had been, but we are, trying to adjust and do our life too. So it's all good. When we do it, we have fun with it. So Tony, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's been some trials and tribulations, but we got to stay in the game. We got to keep fighting, right? Got to keep fighting.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
we are good. I am
So
ready to do this. We're gonna do something a little bit different tonight.
okay, what you're the lead.
So what we're gonna do tonight, we usually have a particular topic, and we have a topic tonight. Sometimes we have a guest. Well, the guest tonight is Skai Juice.
Me?
She's the guest and she's the interviewee. So I'm going to interview her on
Okay.
her trip to Tanzania.
Absolutely.
So
Let's talk about
first
it.
and foremost, hold on one second. Let me just do this real quick. Gotta make sure I put this out for everybody. Okay. Um, First and foremost, what brought about the trip? What made you say I'm going to go to Africa. I'm going to leave the country. And what made you decide to choose Tanzania of all the places you could have went in Africa?
Okay, so remember we had an interview with Heru,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about because he has homes in Ghana and Rwanda, and he travels and he has businesses out there. So he was talking about Africa and the opportunities that are going on over there, and it just inspired me so much. Number one. Number two, he also said to me, Sky, you should check out East Africa. You should check out Tanzania. You would fit in really well over there, right?
Okay. Okay.
And that's kind of why I chose Tanzania, because I have already been to Ghana, Mali, and the Ivory Coast. I've
I
been
was just going
to
to ask you. You've been before, right?
Yeah, I've been to West Africa, a few countries in West Africa, not all of it, but a few countries. I still want to go back to some West African countries, South African countries, North African. I'd like to see more of Africa,
Mm-hmm.
but Tanzania was definitely one of those countries that it's almost dreamy. It was just almost
I
dreamy.
was just
And
going to ask you
so,
what would be the biggest difference that you've seen between the other places that you've been in Tanzania.
like between West Africa, like Ghana and
Mm-hmm.
Tanzania, um, the people, like straight up, the people were very much different. Like they
Okay.
were way different. So Africans, they first of all, they almost look kind of like feature wise, they almost have like an African Indian look.
Mm.
Like their features are longer. Their skin, they're just a different look of a person. You know what I'm saying? They look differently. Um and yeah, so I chose Tanzania, and I was like, that was the best place I could have ever taken a trip, because I was like, wow, this is
So
so amazing. So amazing.
so it rates number one on all the places you've been in Africa.
Yes,
Okay.
totally.
Okay.
There's issues, there's some pros and cons for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but and anywhere you go. But Tanzania is dope, like period.
Okay.
Like I encourage everyone to go to Tanzania.
Okay. So now we're going to rewind it now. So let's go
Okay.
from the beginning. How was the actual flight over there? How was it? As far as getting on the plane, going. You already have your passport, I assume, right?
Yep.
Okay. You didn't
Yep.
have to.
So another reason why I chose Tanzania is because they don't have the COVID
Oh, okay. So
uh,
that's what I was going to next.
vaccination requirements. So I'm
Mhm.
not vaccinated, and I went over there without being vaccinated. I did
Okay.
get tested 3 days before, the regular nose test, nasal test, or what have you. 3 days before, flew through from Atlanta to Amsterdam, and then Amsterdam to Zanzibar with a
Hmm.
little like 1 hour layover, and then Zanzibar to Dar es Salaam.
Okay.
Most of the plane gets off in Zanzibar.
So that was how
Um,
many hours?
20 something hours.
20 something hours. So everybody listening.
It was 20 hours in the air and layover time.
Okay.
So
if you think about going, just make sure you got a lot to read or a lot to watch or a lot to something, because it's a long flight.
I'm gonna tell you what I did. And a friend told me about this, and I don't encourage everyone to do it, but it helped me. I took Tylenol PM and when I left, and I was just a sleepy dream for like the whole time. Like I wasn't awake for most of the trip, the flight.
So you were out, and then you woke up and you were there.
Pretty much, yeah. Not fully, but like I was sleeping mostly.
So how does
most of the something hours?
So I'm gonna go step by step with it. So how is it when you first land there and it's time for you to get your luggage and everything? You have to go through any kind of customs or anything like that, or you just go straight to baggage claim?
Well, the worst part, the hard part was lack of information, right?
Okay.
So as soon as you get off the plane, you have to take another COVID test right there, right in the damn corridor. The whole plane had to take another test, and you had to pay $10 to take it.
Now, my thing is this: you're taking the test right then. Are you getting an instant result right then?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you have to wait like 15 minutes.
Positive?
I mean, that was the thing. I was like, did anyone not pass? Because everyone came through. Like no one was held back. My whole thing is, we're here already. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Put us back on the plane? So I didn't like that, because I thought it was like a scam, and that's going to be my cons for the duration of the trip, were like these little scams that kept happening. That part I could do without, for real.
But when you say that, we have scams here too in America.
No, clearly.
You buy a plane ticket, right? And all of a sudden you get to the airport. Okay, now it's $40 for each bag. Okay, now if you want to choose this particular seat, it's another $30. So that's a scam to me. They don't tell you about that. They just pop it up on you. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's written in. It's no, because everything that's my American mentality is. I seek information. I find it. I apply it. It goes by the information that is written. That's how I'm used to living out here in America.
But you like I said, you buy a ticket through Delta or American or something like that, you're buying this ticket, right? You punch up how much the ticket is, right? This is how much you think the price of the ticket is. That's not the price of the ticket, though. You know what I mean? They're going to charge you for if you get in the aisle seat, if you get in the window seat, if you're sitting in first class, if you're sitting in coach, they're going to charge you for all, but that's not included. When you first Google how much is a flight from Atlanta to maybe New York,
right?
You think
it's in the plane. It's not to get a seat. Yeah, you're right.
And it's like so to me, we have hustles here too.
It's a game. No, because it's a game, because like here, like if you have to get the emergency exit row, which is usually a bigger, like a longer leg room, a lot of people want that. You just like, is anyone interested in sitting in the emergency exit? And then people like volunteer, and it's basically a volunteer, because in case the plane goes down, you're gonna be the one to open the door so we can jump out. But now they charge you for that. Yeah, you're right. There's some bullshit going on out here. So,
but we gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on going. So you get there, you get scammed into taking a $10 COVID test, and then is it just like it is here? You just go to baggage claim, or do you have to go through any type like customs or anything like that?
You got to go through customs, and then they gotta then you got to pay $100 cash for your visa.
Wow. See, I didn't know that.
Get in.
Okay.
Yeah, there's $100 visa charge, and you could do it online, but online, me and my friend who went, it was like $60 more. It's like $160. And so that was probably the fee from the website that you did it on. And so I contacted people over there, and I also contacted went online. I did find information. So they just said bring $100 US cash, and they want $100 bill.
Wow.
Don't bring 520s, don't bring 250s. Wow. They specifically want $100 bills.
They want a nice, crispy, clean $100 bill, huh? Did they put it to the light and look at it and make sure it was real?
Yes. So don't mess around. Yeah.
So you go through customs, you pay $100
Mhm.
for your visa, and then you go to baggage claim, do the regular, just like anywhere
I
else.
didn't have to go through baggage claim because I didn't put anything under the plane. I carried my stuff with me.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. You
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
playing. You was really
oh, I was not in. I was ready to run. That's
yeah.
kind of like the way I travel. Like I'm ready to. If it's time to break out, I don't need help.
Okay, now we're like I said, we're going step by step with this.
But I was only there for a week, so I didn't need a lot of baggage. Right.
so you didn't have to go to baggage claim. So after that, here it will be ground transportation. There, what would you call it?
Yeah, ground transportation. So so we finagled with like no pricing, you know what I mean? And then the taxis don't have meters.
Okay.
So and of course, like a lot of places, Uber cannot come and pick you up at the airport.
Wait. So they got Uber over
So
there too?
oh yes, yes, they do have
Wow.
Uber.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, we took Uber a few times. So we got a taxi. He was pretty fine.
So you just,
And they want to charge you differently if you have US cash or their local money.
I mean, so do you
So
wave down the taxi? You just stand in line? How does
no,
that
they're
work?
right there. As soon as you walk to the front to the exit of the airport, they're just all lined up,
So
you
you just
know.
pick whichever one you want and start negotiating what you want to pay.
No, it's like a taxi stand. So it's like the next taxi is the next one
Oh,
in line.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So you're
So we go to our first Airbnb, which was downtown Dar es Salaam, and it was like in a high rise. It was really pretty. It was basic. I mean, it wasn't really like fancy or anything, but we just kind of wanted to be in the city for the first night. And
how was it price wise?
oh, it was dirt cheap. It was like $20.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't expensive at all. And then like it was this apartment building that was like, I mean, I would say like if it was someone's home, it would be a fabulous apartment because it was like in a high rise overlooking the water,
Hmm.
and it had two floors in the apartment. And it was just like the first floor with the living room was wall floor to ceiling windows, and so you just look out on like the harbor and all that stuff. Hey Hakeem. So yeah, so it was beautiful, and there was other people. There were like different rooms, and so in the morning we met some other people who were staying there, and then they even had part of that money we paid for our room. A lady came and made breakfast for us.
So wait. So let me rewind this again. So you say this was $20, right? Which with Tanzania money, what would that what kind of currency do they
Oh,
use?
so basically their money is in Tanzanian shillings.
Okay.
And if I can remember this, 10,000 shillings is $5. So
Okay.
it's like 2,000 to $1.
Okay.
Yeah, and it varies. Sometimes it's like 2,300 or 2,200 or 2,000 or 19, but it's kind of like in that range.
So it's safe to say that American dollars go far in Tanzania.
Yo, if you have some fundage, some funds, you can live like woo,
So
amazing over there.
Let me rewind a little bit. I should ask you this before. How much does a plane ticket typically cost?
Oh, so that's why I jumped on it. And I don't know if it was a time of year or what have you, but the flight from Atlanta to Dar es Salaam was only about $880
Okay.
round
Okay.
trip. Round trip.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But the funny thing is, Zanzibar, which more than half the flight got off in Zanzibar, which is a
Hmm.
big tourist destination, was 1,500. So
Wow.
less people were going to Dar es Salaam. So, but a lot of people got off at Zanzibar, lots, because the flight came from Amsterdam. There's a lot of Europeans that travel and go there, and it's like,
What
you
airline?
know, well, Delta to Amsterdam and KLM to Dar es Salaam,
Barcelona. Okay.
which is a Delta sister.
So back to the breakfast. So somebody came to make you breakfast.
Yep.
What was on the
She was like,
menu?
"What do you?" She was like, "Whatever you want."
Wow.
Yeah, anything you want that she had. Like she had toast and coffee and tea and juice and fruit. She cut up mango and bananas and different things like that.
What is
She
what
could
is
do meat or whatever else you wanted to, but
what would be, in your opinion, a typical breakfast over there? Like, what do most
there,
people locals eat for breakfast? What would it be?
eggs. They eat eggs for breakfast and rice.
Eggs and rice. Okay. All right.
Yeah. What else? Bread, coffee, lots of coffee. They grow their own coffee. Um, yeah,
Okay.
that's basically what I said.
So
Yeah.
so somebody comes up, they cook breakfast for you there, and then after
Yep.
that, it was off to, you already had a schedule of things you wanted to do, places you wanted to go,
We,
or you
we were
just kind of.
bouncing around. So we had a tour for the Kariakoo Market, which is why we stayed in the city. And the Kariakoo Market was like the big marketplace of Dar es Salaam where you just go shopping. And it's like a traditional market, like people have their little stands. And we had a tour that we actually booked through Airbnb because
Okay.
Airbnb has that thing on there where you can do experiences.
Okay.
So we booked a tour and couldn't find the guy, right? I still he was so cool. I still met up with him on my very last day, the
Mm-hmm.
day I was leaving. I
Mm-hmm.
still met up with him to do the tour. So, but we tried to find him, but we couldn't link up that day. So we had another friend pick us up, and then we went up into like the, I guess, the suburbs closest to the beach.
Wow.
So
Okay.
we went to another Airbnb.
So how was that area when you went to the other area? So you
So
did.
that area was good.
So you stayed there that night, but you didn't get to do anything in the area. You just stayed there and then
Well, we
left.
kind of walked around the town. We walked around the city a little bit. We kind of saw it was really like very like downtown New York, like more professional, like businesses. Everyone's working. People are hustling. Lots of traffic. The marketplace area, we did walk around it a little. Crowded as hell, and it was a Monday. So yeah,
So the
it was
marketplace
cool. I
consisted
mean, it gave
of.
us an idea, huh?
So the marketplace consisted of what? Like mostly fresh food or different kind of items,
So
like
different
like a flea
areas
market.
had. I did a video tour on the market. I can repost it for folks who didn't see it. But the marketplace had an area with all fruits and vegetables. And when I say fruits and vegetables, I mean everything you can think of. Just think of it, and they grow it locally on in the country. Nothing is imported. Nothing. Not
Mm-hmm.
one thing. Rice, all your fruits and vegetables. And then they have an area with just spices.
Mm-hmm.
They had spices in 100-pound bags. Every spice, black pepper, coriander, cumin seeds, just
Wow.
boom, right? And then they had an area that was the meat area, which I surpassed
So,
because I've already walked through a meat market in Africa, in Ghana, and it wasn't refrigerated and it was just not kosher to me.
I,
So we
I
didn't go
was
that
just
way.
about to ask you about not the meat part, but the other part. What were the smells like? Smelling all those fresh herbs and spices.
It was clean, it was beautiful. Of
Really
course I
fresh.
stood out. I stood out like, a dot.
Mm-hmm.
I stood out like a dot out there. Hey, Kema. My cousin's on here. If I don't know if she's still on here, Bianca. Um, but anyway, yeah. The market didn't smell weird at all. It was fresh, like it
I
was
mean,
nice. It
I
was
would assume it
innocent.
smelled good if those are fresh
It
herbs and
smelled good,
spices,
yeah. But
seasonings.
but not only that is like there's incense burning because there is a high percentage of Muslims there.
Okay.
And there's that Asiatic type of vibe,
Mm-hmm.
going on over there. There's more like incense burning, and the women are dressed way more modest for all, like they had some of them had their head covered, the
Mm-hmm.
kimar or whatever, and most of them were dressed in like African dresses and all the way down to the ground, that kind of
Okay.
thing. I didn't see many women wearing like jeans.
So you were standing out big time then, huh?
Way,
So they knew you were a foreigner, basically, right?
way, all the way. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you leave from there and you go to the next one, which is what town was that now? What place was it?
It was still in Dar es Salaam, but it was like Mbezi Beach area, which is up on the coast, and
Okay.
it's more suburban. More people like just live there and all that stuff. And found another Airbnb, which was a villa for a Tanzanian safari company. It was their actual house where their guests would fly in, stay there, and then go on like a 7-day safari. And it just so happened we wanted to do a safari as well. So we booked it through them. So we stayed at their house for a couple of
Wow.
days and we went on a 1-day safari, which that was life changing. Like
And
I
how,
was like,
money wise, like what would you say roundabout? What was the cost of that whole little experience?
so so we are bargain travelers.
Mhm.
We paid about $450 total for the 1-day tour, the
Okay.
safari.
Okay.
Um, and that was for the two of us to go. Now, a lot of people were trying to sell us. I called a lot of people. I was on the WhatsApp telephone talking to people in Tanzania like 3 in the morning and all kinds of stuff for a couple of days trying to get a tour. And they really want you to do like an overnight tour or 3-day excursion safari, like, or 5 day or so. And they start jumping into like $3,000 and $8,000 and all this
Oh
kind of stuff. And
wow.
I really don't want to do that because I just kind of like want to do like a 1 day. You know what I mean? Like I just want to go and see some animals and come back.
Okay.
So the thing about part of that the long days is because Tanzania is a huge country, right? And most of your lions and elephants and the big animals that people want to see are like in the Serengeti and the Ngoroma. They have like this big crater out there. There's all the animals are in there. From Dar es Salaam, which is on the coast, that's like a 12-hour ride just to get there. And
Okay.
so that's 1 day on a bus, like on a safari bus or whatever. I don't want to do that. So we went to the one that was like 4 hours away. It was close.
Yeah.
And the only animals we didn't see was lions. I think we saw elephants. I don't think we saw elephants, but we saw everybody else. We saw giraffes. We saw lots of different monkeys, baboons. We saw
So
um
so you're on a bus or you're on like a jeep or what are you on? And is there anything covering you around you, or is it you can just
safari Land Rover. It's a specialized Land Rover makes a safari. It
Mhm.
has an extended back and then the roof pops up so you can actually stand up in it and take pictures with an open air thing. So
Okay.
it's really
Okay.
cool. And it was just me and my girlfriend Terry, just the two of us. And normally you would have like full like 6 people or 8 people in it, but it was just the two of
Uh-oh. Froze up. It's all right. We'll get her back here in 1 second, folks. All
Okay.
right. There you go. You're back.
My camera, I don't know what's wrong with this thing.
Camera doesn't like you.
It's so sensitive. It's like I probably tapped it and it just went out. But let me see. 1 second. Okay. That's like a better quality. I have the camera from the laptop and the camera from anyway. So the safari was a beautiful experience. It was like 4 hours drive. We had to start at 6 in the morning. And it was pretty dark still. We drove out there. Six was the driver. His name is Six. And the reason why his name is Six is because Tanzania, which was Tanganyika before it was merged with Tanganyika and Zanzibar, became Tanzania.
Okay.
And when it was Tanganyika, it was colonized by Germans, right? So you have a lot of people, African people with German names. So his name is actually Sigmund, right? But it's spelled Sixmund, 6 months. So they call him Six. You get what I'm saying? But at the pronunciation, it's the
I
name
just
is
thought he
Six.
was a tall dude or something.
No, it was just like his name is Six. So, and then our host from the villa, Augustino, he was there as well. So he was the photographer. He had a professional camera, and it was just the four of us. And so I learned about why it takes days and days to do a safari, right? So
Mhm.
in my mind, when I went, the last time I went a safari, it was up in New Jersey, and it was at Great Adventure, and the animals just happen to be right there as soon as you drive in, right? That's what I'm thinking. Not at all. In a safari, you are driving up and down. We're in a park that's like 25,000 acres or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So you're driving up all these roads looking for the animals for hours, for
Wow.
hours. And then when they see one or see a little crowd, a little group, grouping of them, then they'll talk Six, the driver, because he does tours all the time. He'll give you a little history on them, how they mate, how they live, what they eat. So he gives you a little like info thing
Hmm.
on like a tour. And so for hours, we're just driving around looking for different animals and stuff like that, taking pictures. We saw water buffalo. We saw, oh my gosh, impalas and different, oh yeah, just amazing.
A lot. Okay. All right. All
Yeah,
right.
no big cats over there. And this particular forest is closest to, it actually goes to the beach. It's right on the coast. So
Mhm.
certain animals are not privy to that area. So no lions. They said there could be, but there weren't any that day.
Okay.
So
Okay. So that's second day, right?
yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
Third day, what are we going to?
Um, so third day we hung out with our friend Joshua, who Haru, he gave me Joshua's number. He said, as soon as you go there or before you go there, Joshua's your go-to guy. Call him. He will hook you up with everything and tell you where to do. And so Joshua became like our best friend there and our hangout buddy. And so we just kind of did a chill day because the safari was like, we left at 6 in the morning and we got back at like 2 in the morning.
Okay.
And so we were exhausted and what have you. So we just hung out with him. We went to this restaurant called Salad for Days. And Salad for Days was this cool rest. Like, so for me, I was like, oh, a vegetarian spot.
Mhm.
No, it was meat with your salad for days. You know what I'm saying?
Should be called meat with salad for days, not just
I
salad
mean,
for
it was
days.
like big pieces of like steak and goat and whatever meat they were cooking with a beautiful salad that they made with like avocado and cucumbers and all that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
I loved it. Was like, okay, I love this place because it was like an outdoor courtyard and the server was so sweet. And I just like the people are just so
Were,
beautiful and friendly.
were they very Americanized when it came to their food, or no?
No.
No, not
Mm-mm.
at all. Okay.
To me, it was like the food gave me like that African Caribbean connection. You know what I mean? Like stewy and, flavor and like fresh avocado slices, that kind of thing. So, yeah, rice with everything.
What kind of beverages?
What did I have? I'm trying to think if I had anything different. Um, they had juice bars on the sidewalk on the street,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny because in America we call them juice bars because we're fabulous, but for them they're just like, I will juice this orange for you, and you will pay me to juice it for you. So it's not like a juice bar; it's a lady selling orange juice, fresh squeeze.
Fresh squeeze right there. Okay. All right.
Like it wasn't like trendy, you know what I mean? It was just like a lemonade, like I'm just selling what I grew kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay. 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 So the food was something. We'll go back into the food too, because I'm sure you have more
Mhm.
than just meat and salads for
One meal.
days. Yeah.
Right. No. I had the food was always good. The food was always like, I was so happy because I was like, not only was it so good, it was very inexpensive for us. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like the meal I had was like, and I probably spent a lot for lunch, but it was like $10, and I had enough food for like dinner. So I took like a to-go box for, my dinner. So
Okay.
yeah, for
Okay.
$10. Yeah, that's the part I
$10.
love.
Can't beat that. Okay, so the next
So
day.
I had like mango juice. They had the fresh squeezed mango juice, and
Okay, all right, all right. Felt a whole lot better.
yeah, it was good. And then so what else did we do? We went to a bar, like a club, and oh, it was really nice. That was cool. It was like one thing I noticed everywhere. So they eat with their hands
Mm-hmm.
mostly.
Okay.
And so every restaurant has a sink like in the middle of the floor somewhere, or even if it's on the side. It's like in a restaurant, you go and sit down, and then right there on the side would be a sink so you can wash your hands. Because
Wow.
when they go to eat, they're going to eat with their hands. So there's always a sink. Like at this restaurant, this bar and restaurant that we went to that had music and a DJ, there was a sink in the middle of the floor. And there was a few of them because it was a big place.
So if you were to want like some type of silverware or plasticware, did they have it available or no?
Yes,
Oh, they
they
did
did.
have it. Just most people
Yeah,
just didn't use it.
yeah.
Okay, so
Look,
tradition.
if you're local, yeah. And the funny thing is, when we were there, there was another table like behind us, and they were checking us out, right? And so the way we were sitting, it was me, my friend Joshua, and Terry, and me, and Joshua was facing me, and we were talking. And no, wrong. Terry was next to me, I was in the middle, and then Joshua. So they thought that I was involved with Joshua,
Mm-hmm.
and Terry was like the third wheel kind of vibe. That wasn't the case. We were all together, right? But
Yeah.
anyway, so they called her over to talk to them, but it was like a guy, two guys, and a woman, and they were all co-workers at like the German embassy, right? So they
Okay.
were talking. They couldn't figure out where we were from. That's what the thing was. They couldn't tell by our look what we were. So they kind of was guessing that we were mixed. That's what they got, because they saw like our hair and our bodies, and they were like, they're not white,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not black. That's what they were.
So
I
did
was
they just
like,
get bold enough just to come ask you or what?
yes, that's what they did. They called her over and was asking her. It
Wow.
was crazy. I was like, I'm glad they called her and not me, because I would have been like, I don't even know. But yeah, but
So,
they were friendly.
so you were like in a you say you like a club, like a bar or whatever. What type of music
Yep, it
did
was like, yo, everything that's good. They were jamming it.
really?
Everything. The
Okay.
DJ was like, he was playing like a lot of like reggae, and then he was playing like some Drake and hip. Like it was like good stuff, like stuff
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Like it's an
Okay.
internet, like what I like now, it's an international world, and music is everywhere, right? And
Yeah.
then of course African music is over here, like mainstream. So all the African guys are being played like around the world all the time. It's a beautiful time for music.
Okay. All right. I get that.
Mhm.
I get that. So that was the club slash bar spot. They had food there. They had drink. They had everything else
Yep.
and all that. Big crowd, small crowd, medium crowd,
It
kind of.
was like, because we went early, so we went like around 8. They probably, like from what he said, it'll probably get packed like later. But we
Mhm.
had been moving for the whole day and hanging out and driving around. We didn't want to like
Make it a long night.
overexert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just like went home early. So we went home like 10 o'clock or so.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah. But it would look like literally it would be, oh, the funny thing about this bar and restaurant and club and whatever it was also had rooms in the back.
Okay.
So it's like if you meet somebody and you don't want to go anywhere, or if you're too drunk, you can rent a room, and they have like a hotel in the back. Like whoever built that was just thinking.
Makes sense. Makes sense. You know what I mean? Cut to the
I
chase.
was like, somebody is thinking.
Yeah.
They're
Makes
really thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about this having a restaurant at the club or at the bar, They think farther than that. Restaurant
They went further. They were like,
and
suppose
movies.
you overdrink. Suppose you overdrink or you meet someone and you want to chill with them.
Hey, that's a good. Hey, if that's let that be the reason. If it's because you're drunk or it's because you met somebody and you didn't want to drive far, you just want to get to it. There it is. There. Wow. All right. All right.
Yeah.
We'll just that'll be something about Africa that people probably wouldn't think about. But hey, okay,
It was dope.
a little bit something different. Okay.
Service. Now the service was different. I could tell you one thing that was weird about service was, first of all, they didn't take credit cards, right? So you always have to have cash on you, right? Which was kind of like, for me, that's not good for me. Like I don't like carrying cash on any day, right?
Yeah.
So the thing.
Uh-oh. Dropped her again. I think we'll come back. There we go.
Sorry.
Your camera doesn't like you, right?
It's too sensitive. It's probably my computer. Anyway, the servers, they'll give you your check when it's time for you to go, and we'll stand there and wait.
so once they give you a check, they're not walking away. You about to pay them.
They don't walk away. Yeah. And so for us, we think that that's weird because we're not used to that. So we told them, okay, we'll get it. Like you could just drop it here on the table and go away. But their culture, culture is something, right? So their culture is like, we're going to wait for you to pay us right now.
So when it comes to the currency, did you transfer over your currency to theirs, or you just gave them US dollars and stuff? How did you do that?
I brought cash, US dollars. And then when I ran out of that, then I went to ATM and got money in their money at the ATM. Their money comes out of the ATM.
But how does that work too? Because it made me think about when I was in the military and I would go somewhere, I would use my ATM, I would get money out, and I would have more money in there than what I took out, right? And I was like, why do I have so much? Because our money kind of exchanges at a higher rate. So
right, like so suppose I go to the ATM, so I have to calculate. I want $100 in my mind because I can only think in US dollars, right? I can't think of I'm going to take out 100,000. What would it be? $200,000. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me just go get $200,000. That's what it's their money in 200,000 shillings, right? So, but the thing is, the bank's exchange is different than when you go to like the money exchange. So I rather the money exchange because I think I got a better rate than the bank.
Okay.
So that kind of thing.
So if you were to give, say, like the place you're at, right? If you were to give them $20 of American dollars, would they give you back change in their money, or would they? And how would you know what the change would be and how it transferred over?
I had my calculator on
deck.
You was
already ready. Okay.
I was like, what was that? Okay, times and I did the math, and I was like, yeah, because at the airport, I changed some money into their money, just like a little bit, like $100 or 50, and it was a literal money currency, almost like a federal banking official money thing, right? The guy shortchanged me by 5,000 shillings, which is like $2. But when I give you money, you give it back to me. Like that whole let me round it up type of stuff. No, I'm not. That kind of stuff doesn't work for me. I'm very literal when it comes to dollars and cents. And
as you should be.
Like, oh, what's 5,000? Because I feel like he's going to take that 5,000 and put it in his pocket because we are foreigners and we don't know what the value is. And I was like, no, the math says. So he had to go back in the register and pull out some more dollars.
Okay. Well, you caught that right there when it happened.
Oh, I caught every scam. Like every time they were trying to underpay or get money from me, I caught it every single time. Like I was like, why don't you think people know how to add? Like that part right there. I'm mathematical, and if I can't add it in my mind, I have a calculator right here on my phone, like right now. So that's the only part. That's one of the things that bothered me. That's a con.
Let's
Was
get to it. Let's get to the pros and cons. Let's
yeah,
get to it.
one of the cons was the like, and I've heard this before in other people's blogs, but Africans, and it's hard to say all Africans, but you have to understand they see American and they see money, period. You know, they don't know what it took for me to get here. They don't know how I'm doing this on a budget. They don't know anything about that. They know that if you could fly your ass over here, you are a walking US dollar bill, and we're going to squeeze you the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody feels that way, from government officials to the guy on the street, everyone in between. And that's the part.
And to me, it's really no different here. It's really no different here. They're always trying to look, okay, you're going to pay your electricity bill. You want to go ahead and just put that on auto payment?
I do.
I want to pay my own. I don't want you just taking out what you're going to take out of my, my check. So it's like they're always trying to get money.
What's wrong with auto pay? I don't have to think about it. I need electricity.
Okay, it's auto pay, right? They're going to take out whatever they want to take out when they want to take it out versus, okay, this is when I want to pay. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that you have to, but they're trying to get it out of you because they said, well, you can get that auto pay on your electricity, on your cell phone bill, on your it's a lot of stuff here. I think that's scammy. You know.
So you think auto pay is a scam?
I think not that they're scamming you, but they're always asking you. You want to just go ahead and just do this right now? Just go ahead and put yourself on auto pay so we can get our money.
Also with auto pay. So here's the thing with auto pay, right? Sidebar. Is a lot of these services give you a discount if you do auto pay. So you're saving money. That's financial literacy. Don't you talk about that?
Believe me, they're not. You
can get 10% or whatever off by doing auto pay because they know that the money's going to come out of your account. They don't have to worry about it. Everything I have is on auto pay. That's just, I don't have to think about it. I just put deposit.
Do you have those particular days that your auto pay is going to come out on?
I don't even, honestly, I do. My calendar hits me and it says this is going to be paid, but I know when it's coming out, but it's not, I don't think about it. Like makes my life easier.
I mean, I just think a lot of things, even here, they always want to up, let's up pay them on this one or not up pay them. What's the word I'm looking for? Upsell you. There you go. They always want to upsell you. Want to upsell you on this. They want to upsell you on that. If you get this, we'll get you that. Or you just get the bundle. You know what I mean? So it's always like, I'm just saying. I mean, it's always
bundle.
They want
I don't want the bundle.
You know what I mean? But they want to get it out. Want to get it out of you. So I don't know. I just think that.
But here's the thing. There's a difference between giving you an opportunity and a choice to buy something, to spend your money, and a straight, slimy, undercut, I'm going to not give you your change back, your money if I go to a licensed, what I would call federal, but they call it like their own local government money exchange, I expect to get the rate is up there. It's $2,200 for each $1 US. If I give you $100, I want 220,000 of your money, nothing less. If they give me less, what did you just do? Like, I'm confused. Like, mathematics is like, that's the part that I don't like.
Okay. Well, give me some more cons.
That happens so many times.
Just give me the cons because I know what the pros are.
I still write checks for my bills. Stacey, I don't even have a checkbook. I don't even know what I don't even remember the last time I wrote a check. I don't like checks. I don't even accept a check. If someone gives me a check, it has to be like a business, but no, I don't like a check.
Okay.
I don't want one.
Well, give me some more.
But anyway,
give me some things that you.
Oh, you want me to do pros or cons? Which is.
I think I pretty much know what the pros are, but you can give us some pros too.
Okay, the pros are So the food was amazing. There was an abundance of it. It was very inexpensive. Um, the people are beautiful. They're very kind. They're very curious, and they're very like respectful in essence, because there's a con to that too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see what else. The fact that I didn't know about Tanzania like that. Um, once you go to a place and you like learn the history of the place and you learn like some of their struggles and stuff, like that's all beautiful to me. That's a pro. Actually meeting friends there, like I actually have a small group of friends over there that I stay in touch with regularly, like on WhatsApp. That's a plus to me. That's like a super
Well,
plus.
let me ask you a question.
And yes.
You had a picture with I think it was like a tribal person that was over there. Yeah, elaborate on that one a little bit. Like, who was that, and what's the history of that tribe? You laughing? I'm serious. I'm trying to.
So, me and my friend Terry, we went to Zanzibar for one night, right? Because we got as much as we could into this little week, right?
Uh-huh.
And we went on the ferry. Hey, Sun Eyes, how are you? So we went on the ferry, and on our way back, we went both ways. So on the ferry coming back, I saw this. Well, she saw him first. This Maasai warrior. They say
Okay.
warrior. I don't really think he's a warrior. No, none of them are warriors anymore. But they were called warriors because they literally hunted for their food, right?
Okay.
And they fight lions, and part of their like manhood thing is they had to kill a lion and all that kind of stuff.
That's a
And these
warrior
are
to me.
still, yeah, but they're not really like active like that now because they have cell phones and they're kind of right, right. They're
You're
modern,
stealing the cell phone at the same time, or what?
right. Let me like here, watch me. Here's my phone. Let me like watch me kill this lion while I'm holding the phone. Like,
Yeah, videotape this while I'm killing this lion.
yeah. So, so anyway, so I was like intrigued because part of my safari, like some of the safaris give you like you go on a safari and then you go to the Maasai village and then you can kind of like meet with the Maasai and they do a little dance. They're the ones that jump. The guys jump. I don't know if you've seen any.
Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
They jump really high, and that's part of like some of their ritual or their dancing thing and what have you. So he was on this boat, and Terry was like, "Look at him," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I went like this over here.
You just
I
waved them off.
literally,
You just couldn't handle it. You just had to speak, huh?
I was like, I looked around to see if there was anybody else with him, and he was by himself. And he was like, the boat was packed, and he was just kind of looking around, standing, and the boat was about to leave. And then, of course, her and I had a whole seat in the middle of us with our bags on his seat, so we were kind of like trying to spread out a little. So we were like, she was like, I'll let him sit here next to us before anybody else, right? So I was like, yeah, let's do this. This is gonna be fun, right? So I like come over here. So he came over here. He sat in the middle of us, and then we were just all.
Uh-oh. Froze up. It's that sensitive camera again. I think you're back. You're still kind of choppy. And we can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. You froze again. Oh, you turned your mic off. Turn your mic on. You muted your mic. Uh-oh. Modern technology, folks. Just technical difficulties. She'll be back in a second. We're going to get this right. We're going really good, too, up until now. Maybe it's that. Okay, here we go. He's back. Okay, you're back now. Yeah, I hear you now. I hear you now, yeah. That's my high school friend watching. Stacy Maxwell.
Stacy. So Okay, where was I?
About the guy coming, the warrior guy coming to sit down next to you.
Oh, yeah, so basically we were just talking to him about like his culture and like what he does and why is he on this boat and where does he live. And so he was in Zanzibar working, not really working, like selling jewelry. They sell jewelry,
Okay.
beaded jewelry, and he had sold out of everything. He was there for like 5 months and sold out, and he hadn't, he was going back 11 hours bus ride up to like near Arusha, which is like where a lot of the Maasai are.
Okay.
And he had the Maasai garb, which is
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
like red blankety looking fabric, and then kind of like a madras, and then like they have like a wrap around, and then his hair was weaved like back like this, and then he had like things. So the men in their culture have like elaborate hairstyles, and then he had what I thought was locks. I thought they were locks, but they were actually yarn connected to his hair, was braided very fine, and then it was way down his back, and then there was like beads and stuff on the bottom. I was like, who does this? And the men do their hair, like
They
the
do their
men
own
do.
hair. Wow.
Yes. And the women, the Maasai women, are bald. They shave everything off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they have like cuts in their ears, and they have the big earlobes, and they dye their lips black,
Mhm.
and
Interesting.
very
Interesting.
beautiful. I'm gonna see if I can get into my other camera real quick while I have, because it's just a better picture. It's
Okay.
clear.
I see you. I see you.
So yeah,
So,
so he was on his way um up country, and he just hung out with us for the day.
mhm.
And that was a day that Terry left a day before me.
Mhm.
And so we took her to the airport, and, took pictures and everything, and he hung out. And then me, him, and my friend Joshua. Joshua happens to be Maasai as well. However, he doesn't live in the village way, like the way the Michael the Maasai. He's more traditional. Like they kill their meat. Their diet is meat, blood, and milk.
Ooh. Okay.
That's what they mostly eat. They do eat another dish
What
called
what tribe?
ugali,
What tribe is?
Maasai,
Wow.
Maasai.
So they wow.
But something interesting: meat, blood, and milk from a cow. They'll eat a little bit of goat meat. They'll eat some ugali, but they have zero diseases.
Wow. But I'm pretty
No
sure
disease.
I'm pretty sure the cow that they eat is cows that they raise themselves, huh?
Right.
They're not
Yes.
going to the store and buying
They
their.
don't even eat seasoning. They don't eat salt. They don't put anything on it.
Wow.
They just
I wonder how
roast it.
many cases of COVID they had.
Zero. So,
So as I
can
said, I
you hear
wonder how
me?
many cases. Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah, I wonder how many cases of COVID they had with a diet like that. That's probably just their immune system was probably way out of the world. You know.
They probably had none. And I even asked him
Yeah.
what he thought about it. He was like, it doesn't even exist. He's like, it doesn't exist. He's like, I don't believe in that. And I was like, well,
Wow.
I think people are dying from it, but he's like, not me.
What did you ask him? Any
We don't,
people?
he's like, we don't die from that. We don't, that's not,
Did you ask him if any of his people died from it or were affected by it or?
yeah, they don't, he's like, we don't die from that no one has. He's like, nobody I know had it, got it, had it, nothing.
Wow, that's interesting.
He's like, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not doing any of that.
Wow, wow. No, oh, that's what I'm going to ask you too. What's the language that's mostly spoken over there?
Kiswahili.
Kiswahili.
Yes.
Okay.
Swahili.
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 Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I've been studying on Duolingo.
Duolingo. Okay. Just in
Yeah.
case you have to get dual citizenship, you'll be able to speak
Hello.
two different languages.
Jambo. Jambo Karibu. I don't want to do it right now.
Okay.
But yeah, they mostly speak Swahili, and they speak English, and they also, the Maasai speak Ma'a, Ma'a,
Mhm.
and yeah.
Okay. So back to some pros and cons.
So for cons, so the cons were like this. I went with a mentality of not just tourist. I went to really go get an idea of what living there would be like. Even though I went for a short time, I need to see the place. I need to scope it out to kind of get an idea of like, hey, if I were to live here at least part of the year, and what would that be like for me? Like, what do I have to deal with? You
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
And that's where the cons started happening. It was like the conveniences. So, how you get over the conveniences? So, like using the credit card thing, that's not, you can't use your bank card, right? Because most places don't take it, right? If you go to the market, they don't
Hmm.
have any type of swipe. So it's all cash. But the way the pro is, the how you'd make it a pro is you don't go to the market. You get you one a little somebody, a little friend, a lady to work for you, a little girl, a young lady, and she goes for you. She is your Instacart. You get what I'm saying? So that's how people get around. Like the modern thing is like you can afford to have staff over there.
So the service industry thing is pretty big out there, then, huh?
Right. You can afford to have someone go shopping for you, cook for you, um, be your guard, actually have a security guard at your house, have a gardener, have a babysitter, have everything. You can afford that because that's what they do. Everyone is working for somebody on every level. Like literally, a lady who is a housekeeper for a richer family could still afford to have someone come in her house and clean her house
Wow.
because of the levels.
To the
You know,
level.
she goes and cleans someone else's house, but she has a housekeeper for herself.
But then as a housekeeper for herself, wow.
Yeah.
That's deep. That is deep.
So that's how you make it a con because for me, like I'm independent. So I want to go places, I want to go around, I want to go hang out, I want to do stuff, and um I can't go alone as a woman.
Hmm.
I can't go
Now,
anywhere by myself.
now let me ask you about that. How do you feel as far as safety goes over there, and how's quote unquote law enforcement and stuff like that? How's that go over there?
So I never felt unsafe, but I was never in a position to feel unsafe, right? Because everyone was like, I'll go with you. Like it was like, oh, let me go. I couldn't go anywhere alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in an Uber one day by myself, and but I got to where I had to go and I had people on the other side from point A to point B.
Okay.
But they you know they see someone vulnerable and they'll take advantage. So if you like language wise or if you're in a certain area, they're like, do not go anywhere by yourself. So I was never really by myself at any point.
So is there a bit of crime, high crime, or crime over there, or how does that kind of spelled out when it comes to?
I think there's crime there, robberies, there's stuff like that. But like for example, that's why like if you're in like a middle class type of situation, in the area we stayed in would be considered that. It's like pretty, you know, neighborhoodly with homes. Every house has a big wall around it with barbed wire,
Mhm.
right? And on top of that, there's a 24-hour security guard
Wow. Okay.
on every house.
Now, did they have actual police officers or something that would be the equivalent of a
So
police officer?
the police officers, when we went to drop my friend off at the airport, my friend Joshua, who was driving, pulled into the airport the wrong way. And I said to him, "Oh, you can drive anyway. Like you can like this is the one way and you're like it's the road is going like this." So he comes in and I was like, "Oh, you could do that?" He's like, you know. Well, the police did pull him over, right?
Mm.
After when we were leaving. And um What happened? The police pulled him over, and so is friends with the chief of police, or he's related to somebody's related. Someone is related to the chief of police.
Politics.
So, right. So he called them, and they were like, "Oh, he doesn't have to. Don't worry about it. Just squash it." Right. So the police officer he wasn't gonna write a ticket, right? But Joshua had to pay him under the table.
Wow. How much did he have to pay him?
He had to pay him 20,000 shillings, which is the equivalent of $10. But the point is,
give me a $10 ticket any day, I'll take it.
Right. The point is, the police pocketed the money. That's the part. And I was telling him, like, okay, I was wondering why you were driving backwards into the airport. That was the first thing. I was like, that doesn't fly. Number one. Number two, no police officer that I know of, maybe it does happen here, but I have never heard of a police officer getting cash for a ticket. Can you do that? Like, I feel like you could make a phone call in a hot flash and he would be fired, or something would happen to him.
Do you really want me to comment on what you just said?
I know.
I want
you to comment, because I feel like I'm saying something in a naive way. Maybe I am.
I would rather pay $10 to a police officer, or $20 to a police officer, than have a police officer choke me out because they get some type of crazy fantasy pleasure out of killing me, shooting me, and choking me, or whatever. So if I was given the choice of being able to just give the police officer money versus having to worry about my life being taken because they don't even want no money, they'd rather just
right. But here's the thing: you say $10 because that's the value. That's what it values at to us in the States. But 20,000 shillings could be what he made in a day, if that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the value is different.
So if a police officer was like, I want to get $300 out of you here because maybe that's how much money you make in a day, versus taking your life, here's $300.
Yeah, I mean, why does it have to be
if my biggest worry was having to pay a police officer versus having a police officer take my life, I would feel much better with having to pay a police officer. I'm just saying.
No, and I got that, but isn't that okay? So if you paid a police officer $300 for like and he took that $300 and pocketed, would you not go to your phone, like as soon as you drive off, and call and find out, oh, badge number, this officer, he got for $300?
If you can't do nothing about a police officer killing you, what you think you're gonna do about a police officer robbing you?
I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation.
I'm just saying. I mean, you're taking me there. You know what I mean? You're taking me there. You already know how I am about that stuff. So,
I know, but I don't know. Okay. That's a whole nother United States issue, the whole policing of America. So that's not part of my trip, but I understand where you're coming from. But I felt like that was corrupt anyway. That's how I feel. That was still corrupt. That wasn't being a law officer, but yeah. But I guess for the fact that he did break the law, by going the wrong way. Yeah, wasn't a big deal. So. So yeah. So what else happened? Then I did my tour. I hung out at this other cool bar type place that was like a thatched roof, and I kept looking up, and everyone was smoking ganja there, and I was just like, oh, y'all could do this? Okay. I didn't smoke, though, for the public to know that I'm not a smoker, but I have friends. How long ago was your visit? I went in September. That was like September, October, November. Yep, 2 months ago. So, and it was beautiful. I loved it. Everyone was like, this is what everyone said to me. I only went for a week, and everyone said it's not enough time, right? I don't agree. I thought it was enough time. I could have stayed another week maybe, but my friend had to get back, and had I organized myself, I probably would have stayed another week.
It sounds like you did within that week, though.
I did as much as I could in that week, but people go on these trips and go for like 3 weeks. Like one lady I met on the plane, was talking to her. She was in Tanzania for 3 weeks. And I was just like, not everyone could do that. Like to say like, in order for you to travel, even if it's a far journey, like to get there, in order for you to travel that far, you got to stay that long. Like not everyone has that kind of time. You know, sometimes you might, like I was totally appreciative of taking a week long trip in Tanzania. That means I can do that anywhere. Like that's how I felt. That's how good I felt about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, look, it was kind of like a last minute thing, but it sounds like you did a lot and you was able to see a lot and able to enjoy a lot too as well. So, you know.
Man, I would go back in a heartbeat.
Okay.
In a heartbeat.
Okay.
I would go back. I mean, some more of the cons were like I couldn't be alone. You always have to have a driver with you or have someone. But on the other hand, the pro to that is you have like security, you have a driver, you have you have someone to help you do stuff. Like when we went to get our COVID test to go back on the plane, to go back home, the guy from the villa came with us. He was with us the whole time. And I was just like, wow. And he was like, it was like a common courtesy, but it was also like, you guys don't know what you're doing. You don't know where anything is. I got to come with you anyway. And I was just like, and so what I did for him, well, I just liked him so much. He was so gracious to us. I kept in touch. He's a younger guy. He's like 24, what have you. I kept in touch with him because I feel like he's destined for greatness. And I was just kind of giving him like some coaching on life. Like, you can work anywhere in the world. He's multilingual. Like he knows like 6 languages. He knows like German, English.
I was going to ask you about how was the communication factor over there as far as being able to communicate with people and stuff?
English.
Everybody spoke English pretty much? Okay.
Yeah. Everyone spoke English. And, the whole thing is like, for example, the food thing, like the little scammy things is in other words, like I will give my money to whoever's with me, like my friend, my local friend, and say, can you buy that for me? That way there's nobody's going to overcharge them. You know what I'm saying? For example, I went to the market and the guy said 400, right? Which 400 is like 25 cents, right? Or 20 cents or whatever, right? For bananas. For a whole like 5 or 6 bananas, right? I was like, okay, here it is. And then he's like, no. Because someone yelled at him from across, like that's too low, right? So then he said 4,000. So 4,000 is $2, right? So he went up, elevated it to me. And I was like, so this is how I had to do it in my mind. Well, it's only $2, right? I was a little mad because I'm like, well, normally a local person would pay 20 cents, right? Because that's the value of their money. Right. But I have to pay 100 times more. So I had to pay $2. But the truth is I would pay $2 in the US for bananas probably, but I want the 20-cent bananas. So I had to go back and forth. But so basically what I learned is go get your friends and everything you want, you give them, you slip them the money and you say, I need those bananas, go get them, buy me the bananas, do my bidding for me because you won't get ripped off.
So if you're out there, you just got to have a real life personal assistant, huh?
That's exactly what I'll have.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me.
Exactly
I like it all. I can deal with all those cons. With all those cons I can deal with. So no big deal to me.
Yeah. And the only major con, the only major ordeal that was the most off-putting, was getting on the ferry to Zanzibar, right? That was the worst because there is a sense of desperation when and I guess this is like an American stupid way of thinking. I'm sorry, but this is like when they say the boat is ready to go, people line up. Like you go to the airport and they have all those little like zip ties and you just, not zip ties, but the little zippy things, and you just line up and people don't like bum rush the door, right? Oh my God. Over there, they like huddle. Someone said, Sun I said, what's new with you other than your visit? Well, we could talk about that later because we're talking about the visit. But the only thing that was really like off-putting was there was no order, right? So they're like, everyone line up for to get on the ferry, right? And they bum rushed, and the guys from the guys who sold us the tickets realized that we were being surrounded by men, like they were all around us, and really they weren't trying to do anything more than like help us for a fee. So they were like, I'll hold your bag, and I was like, I got it. My bags I don't need any help whatsoever. I'm not giving you anything because I got this. That's why I packed this way. I don't need no help. Don't touch me. And so that part was like attack of the tourists. That was the only off-putting thing to me. And I realized that there was a fear within me, like what just happened at this concert the other day with like people got crushed.
Yeah, crushed, yeah. People, yeah.
I have a fear of that. And it's like, I don't want to be anywhere where there's like 90 million people around me and I can't move. So why are y'all lined up? Like, go, like the guy called us in first because we were vulnerable, I guess, obviously. Then this lady jumps behind me with her daughter. She's ramming her daughter into, the daughter's this short. She's ramming her daughter's face into my ass and pushing me. Like she literally is pushing the little girl into me. And I turned around and I had to tell her, can you fucking stop getting all up on me like this? Look at your child. So that was like the only time when I lost it, because I was like, there is no friggin' need to push. Like that part was the only part when I just like, I almost like.
You went straight Puerto Rico.
I don't know what I did, but I was just like, yo, there's no need for this. There's no need. Like, there's no need. It's like you're making a danger. The little girl is going to suffocate. That's how hard she was in my legs.
I can say I think I've seen that before with foreigners. Sometimes it's just like there's no order. You got to get there first. You got to be first. And the only way you can be first is try to hurry up and get there and try to cut. No excuse me, no nothing. I'm just trying to get in there because I need to get to what I need to. Like I've been in supermarkets before and people just reaching over you and trying to, get in front of you and stuff. And I'm just like, damn, you don't see me standing here trying to.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'm literally that person that I'm going to pull out and let all of you go and go for it. And if there's nothing left, I'm okay, because that whole type of energy, that was the only time I was frazzled there, and that was it. But so now I know that what I know is they're only selling enough tickets for that everyone will get a seat, right? Number one. So now I know if I ever do that again, I'll just get on last and get whatever seat is left. I don't care because I'm going to sit somewhere. And then number two, maybe I'll just fly to Zanzibar.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
But Zanzibar is a trip in its own self. Zanzibar is amazing. Zanzibar has 1 million people on this island. I didn't even know that when I went. Zanzibar was owned by Oman, so it's very, very Arabian over there.
Oh, okay.
Very Muslim, very Arabian. All the men are wearing little kufis and long dress, Muslim attire. That was a little uncomfortable for me, honestly, only because my values are probably in direct opposition to their values.
As long as somebody doesn't approach you and impose that on you, just do what you do. Let them do that.
No. Everyone was very friendly and stuff, but I look at it and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, wow, I love it here. It's beautiful. It's very tropical. They have beaches. They have all that kind of stuff. We went and they call it swimming with the turtles, but we didn't swim with the turtles. We just got in the water and the turtles kind of came up to us and we fed them and stuff like that, seaweed. But it's just like, that was a Friday, which is Juma, which is when they go to the mosque. And it was a very beautiful thing to see. It was very beautiful to see. Like I really had a good time in Zanzibar. We were only there for one day. We were in Stone Town. Yeah, it was nice.
It sounds like we might need to
I,
do a part two to this one.
it could be a part two. I mean,
Because we
some
got some things. There were some things that I could have went more into, but I was just trying to go all the way through. We'll definitely do another two. Because there's some more stuff that I want to go with now, but I see we
you
done
have
went
more
over
questions.
hour. Yeah, I got some more. We can go on. I got about another hour worth of questions we'll save for part two of this one.
Okay,
But it
that's
was.
cool. I just encourage people to travel,
Mhm.
and I would definitely say, oh, I forgot to tell you, I met a lot of African Americans that are living there now.
Oh yeah, see that's what we'll definitely
So
get into when the next one with that.
yeah, there's a whole community of people who have left US to look for other places. There's a lot of people who want to see the world and live in other places where they feel safe, where there's, it's easier to live like money wise, um, raise their family in like a wholesome environment, stuff like that. And there's a lot of family. In fact, I found a lot of them on YouTube, and that's the beauty of the world. Like traveling should be everyone's goal if possible, because, and that's why I say, if you can only go for a week or a few days, go. It's like it does something to you, you know what I mean? Like just take a
Mhm.
little break and just book. I'm already on to the next trip. I'm ready.
Okay, we'll talk about that one too. So another good show in the books. I think we
Absolutely.
made it happen good. I got to go ahead and dedicate this show right here to my boy. Rest in peace, Laddie, Big Laddie, Anthony Lattimore, my partner from the Navy. Like my little brother, he passed away about 2 weeks ago. He was an avid watcher of our show. He would always tell me how good I did and how good you did and all the stuff that we did. So this one is dedicated to you, Big Lat.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, he should be still watching us if all things are work the right way.
Hey, the
So
universe, the energy is still there. It's just around
yes,
now. Definitely.
yes. So yeah, so we'll do this again. Let me know when you're free, and yeah, I'll
Okay.
talk to you later.
We'll
Sun
definitely.
eyes. I wanted to know that as well. What was that you wanted to know? I don't know what they wanted to know as well. Maybe I answered it. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace and love. The Art of Living with Skai Juice and Tony B.
That's
Peace,
right.
y'all.